today, celebrating Jackie Robinson Day on this 74th anniversary of his MLB debut and breaking of the sport's color barrier. Robinson's importance cannot be overstated, says Chuck D, a Public Enemy.
Most significant athlete in sports history, period, who basically baseball wasn't his number one sport. I mean, he was a tail kicker, man, in football at UCLA and also in basketball. You want to talk about GOAT? He chose to take on baseball.
Chuck D on Barton Hahn. Red Sox on a 9-game winning streak have tied things up at 3 with the Twins. They're in the top of the 8th thanks to an Alex Verdugo 3-run double. Mets forward LaMarcus Aldridge announced his retirement from the NBA, citing an irregular heartbeat. The 35-year-old, the second overall pick in the 2006 draft, was diagnosed with a heart condition his rookie year. NCAA placed the USC men's basketball program on 2 years probation for a former associate coach's role in the national bribery scandal. The Trojans do avoid a postseason ban.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Top Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Mike Detillier, 1 hour from right now. Big leaguer Alex Lange today in hour 3. We'll look forward to catching up with Lange, who made his MLB debut over the weekend. Pitched again last night in Houston against the Astros. Looking forward to catching up with Alex Lange in hour 3. Let me start with a little bit of breaking news. This coming down just less than 10 minutes ago. Another Johnson is headed to the LSU football program. This would be Jake Johnson. That's Max's younger brother. Jake Johnson, 6'5", 210-pound tight end out of Georgia. He's the number 1 tight end in the country, and he has committed to LSU for the class of 2022. So a really nice get here for Ed Ogeron and the Tigers, the football Tigers, a day before the spring game. This, if it holds, of course, would mean that LSU would have both Max and Jake Johnson on campus, that Jake would be catching passes, presumably from his brother, provided Max wins the starting job or sticks around. We all know what happens with quarterbacks, but you're talking about a 4-star tight end, the number 1 tight end in the country in the 247 composite, the number 78 overall player in the country. This is a legit big-time prospect, and obviously LSU had Eric Gilbert on campus a year ago. He transferred. His future is very much up in the air right now. You've got Cole Taylor, who right now is best known for having his shoe thrown by Marco Wilson down in the swamp. But aside from that, you don't really have a lot of depth and a lot of proven talent there at tight end. So theoretically, adding the number 1 tight end in the country, big-bodied dude, be a great opportunity to get on the field pretty early in his career. So Jake Johnson, Max Johnson's younger brother, commits to LSU for the class of 2022. If you're wondering where that puts LSU, they are ranked 3rd in the country for the class of 2022. That is their 11th commitment. Of course, leading the way is Walker Howard, the best player in Louisiana for the class of 2022. Will Campbell, the 5-star offensive lineman. LaTerrence Welsh, the 4-star cornerback out of Lafayette. Jadarian Rim, the 4-star cornerback out of Georgia, also there. Aaron Anderson out of Carr, the wide receiver. A.J. Johnson, Tyge Hill, Lucas Taylor, Marcus Scott, Dakotas Crawford. This is not updated yet to include Jake Johnson just yet, but he will be very high on that list if I'm just looking at it as the top players. He'll be the third highest rated prospect in this country, in this class, the 12th commit for LSU, third highest rated behind just Walker Howard and Will Campbell. So Jake Johnson, Max Johnson's younger brother, has committed to the Tigers for the class of 2022. I hope you're having a great day. Man, a ton of basketball news today that I got to delve into. The anticipated but certainly expected news came today that LSU freshman Cameron Thomas did, in fact, make it official, and he has declared for the NBA draft. He will hire an agent. Made that announcement via post on his social media earlier today. Cam Thomas, a second-team All-American, first-team All-SEC, his one season in Baton Rouge, averaged 23 points per game. In 2 NCAA tournament games, averaged 28.5 per game. He is a projected lottery pick. He was the number 25 overall prospect in the country. This was an absolute no-brainer. He was always going to be a one-and-done, and he did nothing to disappoint during his time in Baton Rouge. Earlier this week, we talked to Kristen Peak, who is a basketball writer for Yahoo Sports, covers all 3 levels of basketball, and recently has a mock draft out. We asked her evaluation of Cam Thomas as a prospect.
I really, really like him, but he's a high-volume shooter. The only thing I worry about is he's only averaged 1.4 assists per game, and he's very similar to Aaron Nesmith, who went 14 to the Boston Celtics, who's struggling this year because he's a pure volume shooter, just like Cameron is. So, and he's only averaging, I think, 3.5 points per game. So that's the only reason I think teams will have a little bit of a pause, because they have 1 year removed Aaron Nesmith to kind of compare Cameron to.
So
in this draft.
So Cam Thomas declares for the draft. Look, comparing to Aaron Nesmith, who went 14th overall, not a bad comp. And that's a guy who played at Vanderbilt, had some injury issues at Vandy as well. Kristen also elaborated a bit on what NBA front office personnel are saying now, sort of ear to ground, about Cam Thomas.
All they know is, like, this player is not afraid to shoot. He's very confident. When he gets hot, he's hot. We saw that again with LaMelo Ball. I went over to Australia and I saw him play last year. I went to 2 games there. And it was kind of a similar thing where he's not afraid to shoot from anywhere. And people are like, oh, but he only shot 27% from 3. Cameron only shot 32% from 3. And he shot he attempted 200 3-pointers in 29 games this year. So it's almost
I watched them all.
Yes. And so NBA teams, that's the positive. They know exactly what they're getting in him, but they probably wanted to see a little bit more playmaking for other players and a little more dishing, because when you're that small at 6'4", I can't believe I'm saying that, like 6'4" is
right.
Small in the NBA, right? But you have to be able to create for others on the court.
And Kristen Peak of Yahoo Sports here on AFR earlier this week talking about Cameron Thomas. My prediction on Thomas is that he will be a teens pick. I don't think he falls lower than 19. Mock drafts have him anywhere from, I've seen as high as 13, as low as 22, but he is a no doubt first-round draft pick. He will go in round 1, and he will make a lot of money, and I think he's going to be a very good pro. The thing, I think Cam fits perfectly in the NBA, especially today's NBA, which is so focused around the three-pointer and the ability to score in transition, to get shots up quickly. He can certainly do that. My question is more so for LSU, and where will they find scoring? As we mentioned, the Tigers averaged about 81 points a game, and 66 of those 81 points are out the door with 4 players, the big 4, out. Now, it's not just Cameron Thomas. 2 other players today entered the transfer portal. Andre Hyatt was the first earlier today who announced he was entering the transfer portal. He is soon to be redshirt sophomore. Hyatt started 15 of the 24 games this past season. The best game really was against St. Bonaventure in the tournament. He was 5 of 10, scored 13 points. Really good on the offensive glass in that game. Really aggressive in that ball game. Played in 53 games over his 2 seasons in Baton Rouge. He redshirted his first year, played in 29 games with 2 starts a year ago, and then obviously, as we mentioned this year, 24 games played with 15 games started. Hyatt, when he signed with LSU, was the 82nd best small forward in the country. This is, I would say disappointing, but not unexpected. Like if you're a fan, you certainly want a guy like Andre Hyatt, who showed a lot of promise late in the season, to continue growing. And that's sort of the attachment that as a fan you have to players as they extend their career in one place. You get to know them, you watch them progress and develop. We saw that a lot with Javonte. We saw that a lot with Skylar Mays. We're not obviously going to get to see that with Andre Hyatt. And most players, quite honestly, that redshirt aren't going to make it 4 years. At a major program like LSU, obviously, if you're Will Wade, you're looking to win now. And Andre Hyatt's just not that guy. Obviously, if you have a better option to use that scholarship, you're going to use it. And listen, Billy Embody was with us earlier this week and said Will Wade still wants to add 2 or 3 more transfer players. If that's the case, then things like this were to be expected. You knew Cam Thomas was going to declare, and then they had to clear room on the roster with guys that maybe didn't fit in. Well, you added Xavier Pinson earlier this week, a guard, so Andre Hyatt, another guard, out. This is the one that did surprise me a bit and disappointed me. It's a bummer. On top of Cameron Thomas declaring and Andre Hyatt entering the transfer portal, so too did freshman guard Jalen Cook. Jalen Cook's from nearby Walker. He was a 3-star when he signed. We were all locally really excited about Jalen Cook, and one of the things that I thought was really cool is that Cook humbled himself this year, understanding with Cameron Thomas and Javonte Smart ahead of him, he wasn't going to play much. And he didn't. Played in 20 games, averaged 3 points per game. It was just, he took a back seat and knew that next year was going to be his opportunity. But then the opportunity came for LSU to snag a guy like Xavier Pinson, and Will Wade had to look and say, okay, well, how do you pass on a guy that's played in 88 games, averaged 13 a game this past year, 3 seasons as a contributor, 2 seasons as an everyday starter in the SEC? How do you pass on that guy when he wants to come to your program? You have an opportunity to get offense and experience. If you're in win now mode, like Will Wade is perpetually and will be forever, you add a veteran guy like Pinson. But sometimes the counter of that is you add a veteran player, you lose a younger guy like Jalen Cook, who thought this was going to be his year, and now he's going to have to fight for minutes with Xavier Pinson and then Eric Gaines, who got minutes late last year as well. So that's a bummer. Listen, when Will Wade talked about Jalen Cook this year, I mean, he gushed about Jalen Cook.
Wait till you see Imwani Wilkinson and Jalen Cook defend. I mean, those are 2 very, very good, I don't want to call them elite defenders yet, but Jalen Cook, maybe the best on-ball defender I've seen since we had Briante Weber at VCU, who's the second all-time leading NCAA steals leader. Cook is as good as I've seen at hounding the ball and guarding the ball. And Imwani, you watch.
LSU certainly could have used some defense this year, but you were never going to take Javonte Smart or Cameron Thomas off the floor. So that's a bit of a bummer that Jalen Cook's time at LSU is only going to last 1 season, and we didn't get to see that potential materialize, especially with a local guy. But best of luck to him wherever he goes. So, man, what a news dump. LSU football picks up the number 1 tight end in the country, Jake Johnson. LSU basketball loses 3 players from its roster. As expected, Cameron Thomas, and then transfers Andre Hyatt, Jalen Cook into the portal. All right, it's after further review. Mike Detillier in about 45 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a break. When we come back, LSU South Carolina, game 1 of that series tonight, 6:30 at the Box. We'll give you a sneak peek preview of it when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Or give them a call or log on, oneourbr.com. Remember this if you remember nothing else from today's live. River City's 1 Hour Air has their preseason AC tune-up going on right now. This is seasonal maintenance. They offer every year a special for our listeners, $30 off the regular price, just $97. It's $30 off the regular price. I cannot encourage you enough to have this done. Many of us might replace a home central AC once in our lifetime. We just had to do it for the first time ever. But if you want to put that off for as long as possible, you have to provide your unit with the standard annual maintenance to make sure it runs efficiently and last for years and years and years. Spend the $97. Preseason AC tune-up. River City's 1-hour air. 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
$12,500 off MSRP. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2020 Ford Expedition today with $12,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'm Mike Detillier, in 42 minutes from right now. 3 hours and 12 minutes from right now. First pitch, LSU and South Carolina. A game will be televised on ESPNU. It'll also be, of course, on radio in the greater Baton Rouge area on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. So tonight, 6:30 ESPNU. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock on SEC Network Plus. And then Saturday, 2 o'clock, also on SEC Network Plus. Remember, Saturday is a really big day with spring game at noon and then baseball at 2. And, of course, our HUDCO hat party will be over at Bayou starting at 6 o'clock. So if you're having a full day out at campus, you want to come join us for our HUDCO hat party, snag you some Bayou, grab you a hat from HUDCO, listen to some live music. It'll be a fun day. And thankfully, it looks like the weather is actually going to cooperate. Weather yesterday in Baton Rouge, really all around South Louisiana, was just horrific. There was wind and hail and everything. And this morning and overnight last night, it was awful. And there was a lot of concern about whether or not they'd even get the game in. Paul Maneri, when he met with the media yesterday was talking about how they were really concerned about the weather. But today, high of 71. The early rain has cleared. Looks good for tonight. There is some rain in the forecast for Friday, but as far as 7 o'clock, first pitch, it just looks like it'll be a little overcast, some clouds, but no rain. And then same thing for Saturday, 67 degrees at first pitch, little cloudy. So we should have a nice weekend to get all 3 games in, which it didn't look like that was necessarily going to be the case early on. So that's great to see that the weather looks like it's not going to be a problem. It will cooperate for LSU and South Carolina. Now, tonight is just massive. If you've listened to us talking here about this series yet this week, I don't think I can overstate the importance of tonight's ball game for LSU. South Carolina on the season is 22-9, and they're 8-4 in the conference. So LSU's 3-9, Carolina's 8-4. In the preseason, Carolina was ranked, I think, 18th, 19th, somewhere in there. They're all the way up to 5th in the country. And in large part, that was on the back of sweeping Florida in the second week of conference play. But they also lost a series against Vanderbilt, and they lost their first game of that series and the second game of that series in one Game 3. South Carolina, if you just look at the game-by-game record so far in conference play, Carolina is 1-3 in Game 1. 4 weekends, they're 1-3 in Game 1. They're 3-1 in Game 2, and they are 4-0 in Game 3. They've yet to lose a Game 3. What that tells you is that if you're LSU, your best chance, your best odds of getting a game in this series, not to say you're only going to win one, but if you're looking at your percent odds specifically of winning each game, your best percent chance of winning a game in this series is tonight. You have got to get this ball game tonight against South Carolina. Gamecocks are running out Thomas Farr as their starting pitcher. And Thomas Farr is a power arm. Carolina as a squad, as a pitching staff, they average over 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's second in the SEC. That's only behind Vanderbilt, who averaged 14 strikeouts per 9 innings and made LSU look like a JV squad going against a college team. It was a complete mismatch the first 2 days offensively for LSU against Vanderbilt. So, yes, Carolina's got power pitchers that can strike you out. But Thomas Farr, in 44 innings pitched, has also walked 22 hitters. The pitcher LSU is going to face on Friday night, Brandon Jordan, has walked 24 hitters in 41 innings pitched. It is imperative for LSU hitters tonight to have a patient approach at the plate, to work deep into counts, have Thomas Farr give you a free pass, get on base, and then capitalize when he does and get him out of the game early. Carolina's got some big power arms in their bullpen as well, but the more you can make them dip into their bullpen early in the series, the better advantage that's obviously going to give you later in the series when Carolina has to dip into their bullpen. So offensively, these teams are very similar. Carolina is 13th in the SEC in team batting average, second to last. But they're third in the country. They're third in the conference in home runs with 50. LSU is second in the conference with 52. Arkansas leads the way with 55. So you're talking about a team that is basically a carbon copy offensively of LSU. They don't hit for average, but they can hit the ball out of the yard. And they've done it a ton. So the key for Landon Marceau tonight is obvious. Keep the ball down in the zone. Do not let South Carolina hitters elevate the baseball. Try to get them a swing over the top. A lot of ground balls, a lot of swings and misses. Go deep into this ball game. Preserve your bullpen. It's just imperative. LSU's got to win this game tonight. It's the one in this series that they are most likely to win. Get this one, then find a way to split the next two and keep winning more than you lose. Now, I will be interested to see what Maneri elects to do tonight with the starting lineup. Of course, last week against Kentucky, he made a few changes. Dylan Cruz moved to center, which I'm curious if that'll stick or if DiGiacomo is going to be back in the lineup. By the way, he was asked, Paul Maneri was his 5 brain, if Gio is going to be back in the lineup for the game this weekend.
I do expect him to be in the lineup, and I think he'll be ready to go full speed, and hopefully that his leg will be fine and be able to play through the entire weekend. That's the plans and the hopes, yes.
So if Gio's back, Gio plays in center, Cruz moves back to right, and last weekend Gio was batting in the 5-hole. Now, I don't love that at all. We've talked about that a bunch. Gio's a guy that is better suited as your leadoff guy, put the ball on the ground and leg out a single, steal a base, get in on a single from second, go first to third on a single. I mean, you know who he is, or his guys you want in the bottom of your order. But Paul's unconventional. We'll see what he does, but it looks like Gio will be back in the lineup. I'm also curious to see what he does at catcher. This is one that's sort of been a little bit of a revolving situation there. Milazzo is a vastly better defensive option. Travinski has not really hit. He got his first SEC knock last weekend in Kentucky. Maneri did elaborate a bit about bringing Travinski along. This is 6, please, if you would.
We've built up his arm. His arm is starting to react better than it was earlier this year. From the stress reaction, the endurance seems to be building up. But remember, he had that knee surgery that kept him out in the fall. So squatting for 150 to 200 pitches in a night and blocking balls and doing all the activity that a catcher does is something that you have to build up that kind of stamina as well. So it's a very demanding position, very taxing on you physically as well as mentally. And, hopefully he's going to, meet that task.
So we'll see if Travinski's back in the starting lineup tonight. By now, you know how I feel about it. Until and unless Travinski hits consistently, give me the better defensive option if neither guy's going to hit consistently. Travinski's done very well hitting in the midweek. He's not done so well hitting in the weekends. He did get his first SEC hit last weekend against Kentucky. We'll see what Paul Maneri elects to do tonight, if it'll be Travinski or if it'll be Milazzo, if he elects bat or defense. We'll find out coming up later. And whenever the lineup is posted, we'll certainly delve through that. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us. 33 minutes from right now, Mike Detillier will be with us. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey and Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Let me knock out a break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Remember, you can always join us. Jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can watch us live there. Of course, you can always watch us on CST, or you can always text the show in the 225. It's 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Feel free to text me during the show or anytime. I have that app on my phone. You're welcome to interact whenever is convenient for you. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, go around the SEC. And another indicator of why one SEC head coach is at his current school and not his former school. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find it, agent225.com. And right now, it is such a great seller's market. I mean, Darren listed a home 2 days ago. It sold in less than 24 hours under contract. Right now, some beautiful new listings. Get them before they go. Paradise Lakes in Denham Springs, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, a hair under 3,000 square feet. 414.9. Go check it out. Gorgeous curb appeal. There's one in Northwoods on Greenwell Springs. 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,200 square feet. Maybe a great family home, great starter home. 149.9. Check it out at agent225.com. Agent225.com. But remember, if you are buying a home, don't go into that process without a realtor. Searching for that property for you, negotiating on your behalf. Remember, if you need a realtor, call Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Experience the Zurich Classic in a whole new way. This year, you can purchase a Best of the Zurich Classic Pass, which will get you into all the venues you know and love, where you'll feast on great food and drinks from some of your favorite local restaurants. Come enjoy the outdoors and see the best golfers in the world. But hurry, attendance is limited. This year, all safety protocols will be followed to ensure a safe tournament experience for everyone. The Zurich Classic. For more info and tickets, go to ZurichGolfClassic.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
In. After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I don't mean to resurrect a years-old story, but there was this narrative for a while when Jimbo Fisher was at Florida State that he's never going to leave Florida State. And my response time and time again to people was, oh, yes, he will. And in part it was because Florida State wouldn't spend money. He would lose assistants time and again because they wouldn't increase pay. And he was always recruiting an uphill battle because of facilities. Well, Florida State has unveiled renderings for their long-anticipated standalone football facility, said to bring the Seminoles in line with the top programs in the country. It looks gorgeous if you check it out. The renderings are all over online. It's a beautiful two outdoor football fields and a sort of U-shaped complex with their indoor facility as well. So it's really well done and looks just as you would expect, a really great facility to look like. That's going to cost in the neighborhood of $50 million or whatever it may be. But I only bring this up because sometimes it takes a long time for the actual truth of a story to come out. When Jimbo left Florida State, everything was amicable to whatever degree it could be, but there was a reason that his name always came up for other jobs, because even though he won a championship there, he was always looking because he was always fighting this battle at Florida State. So for perspective, LSU opened its football operations center in 2005. It was Nick Saban's vision. He never got to experience it because he left for the Dolphins, and then it opened in 2005, so Les Miles' first year was the first year that football ops was open out at LSU. Y'all, that was 16 years ago. 16 years ago, LSU opened football ops. Never mind the conceptualizing, the fundraising, the groundbreaking, the completion of the project, then the opening. But 16 years ago, football ops opened at LSU. It's already been renovated. And Florida State just today approved their football operations center. I only bring this up really for two reasons. One, to show you that when people would try to poo-poo the idea of Jimbo Fisher ever leaving Florida State, this is why he was always willing to leave Florida State. I'm not, whether you want him here, it's irrelevant. Whether A&M, you think he'll win there, that's irrelevant. My point is, when you look at places like LSU and you think this is the norm, it's not. I mean, even a place like Florida State, with their history and their tradition, 16 years after LSU opened football ops, they finally approved their plan for their own standalone football operations center. I'm sure it's going to be nice. That's after further review. One other quick note. This did become official. The NCAA Division I Council voted Wednesday to change their long-standing rule that allows football and basketball players to transfer one time without having to sit out. So immediate eligibility. This was assumed, it has been assumed that it was going to be approved. It did, in fact, happen yesterday with the NCAA Division I Council voting. So any player that transfers in football, this has been the case in all sports except football, men's and women's basketball, hockey, and it's crazy. Hockey and baseball, or for whatever reason. Every other sport, you could transfer and play immediately, but in those sports, you had to sit out. Well, they've waived that rule now. The one-time transfer year is granted. Everyone you could transfer and not sit out, and that means everyone who is transferring will be immediately eligible. All the basketball players that are transferring right now will be immediately eligible. Any football player that transfers in, that becomes somewhat relevant for LSU, because if you're looking at a guy, say, like Eric Gilbert, if Gilbert, who left LSU, wants to re-enroll, he wouldn't have to get a waiver. He would be immediately eligible to play again for LSU this fall, should he come back to school or wherever he may play. So that is now official, and I think that's a great thing. You know, I'm very pro-student-athlete. I think it's going to benefit student-athletes. I'm for it, so good on them. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. I'll remind you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. That is GMFS Mortgage. 4 letters could end up changing your life financially. 4 letters. GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. If you're buying a home, building a home, or maybe it's time to think about refinancing that mortgage, I'm going to keep hammering this message because it's just so important. COVID sucked. There's no denying that. One potential benefit is, in an effort to stimulate the economy, the Fed has lowered interest rates, which means we all benefit. If you're a homeowner, this is an opportunity to lower your interest rate, save money every month on your mortgage payment. When you go through closing, maybe you skip a payment or two like we were able to do, shorten the life of your mortgage. They're basically lending you the money for cheaper. So go through this process, please. GMFSmortgage.com. They got lenders all over the state of Louisiana, so no matter where you're listening or watching, if you're in the state of Louisiana, GMFS Mortgage has a local loan officer near you. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Nick Saban got a commitment from 4-star defensive lineman Jaheim Otis. He's a 2022 prospect out of Mississippi, 6'4", 349. Oh, big boy. Picked Bama over Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Georgia, LSU, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. He's a 4-star prospect, number 82 nationally, top player in Mississippi, according to 247 Sports. Otis is the 6th commit for Bama's 2022 class.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Rick Barnes got a big-time commit. Brandon Huntley Hatfield, the number 6 overall prospect in the country. He's committed to Tennessee. He will reclassify for the 2021 class. 6'9", 230 out of Tennessee. He's a power forward, and he has committed to the Vols over Auburn, Ole Miss, Kansas, Tennessee. He pick Tennessee. Wake Forest and Syracuse. So Rick Barnes nabs his second top 100 commitment in as many days following Jonas Adu committing to the Vols on Wednesday.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And Eric Musselman has his new deal, but he's going to need a new assistant coach. Corey Williams is off to join newly elevated head coach Mark Adams at Texas Tech, which means after 2 years on the sideline with the Hogs and Musselman, Eric Musselman's going to need a new assistant. He said he'll look internally first. One name to keep an eye on is associate head coach David Patrick. He's been in the mix for multiple openings in recent weeks. Could he potentially get a raise and an elevation of status at Arkansas? Worth keeping an eye on, or could his days in Fayetteville be numbered? Musselman has not set a timeline for naming a replacement. And there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get with our buddy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Official office equipment provider of LSU Athletics, the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Pelicans. That is Gulf Coast Office Products. Okay, it's after further review. Mike Detillier in 19 minutes from right now. I will get Mike's thoughts if you missed the breaking news earlier today. A four-star tight end, Jake Johnson, the number one tight end in the country. He has committed to Ed Ogeron and the Tigers for the class of 2022. He is Max Johnson's younger brother, so they will have a Max Johnson to Jake Johnson connection in Baton Rouge next football season, provided Max wins a starting job. But LSU, the number 3 ranked class in America. A couple of 5-stars with Walker Howard, Will Campbell, and then the next highest rated prospect now in the class is the number 1 tight end in the class, Jake Johnson out of Georgia, who has pledged to be a part of the 2022 LSU football class. So I'll ask Mike D about Jake Johnson. I definitely want to get Mike's thoughts on all the draft buzz around the quarterbacks. Justin Fields had another pro day. Mike has gone on record saying he thinks the Saints will pick a quarterback in this draft class. He told us last week that Ian Book is who he has mocked the Saints with one of their third-round picks. So we'll delve into some quarterback conversation, what to look for in this weekend's spring game. And any questions you have for Mike D, you can get them in. You can email Matt at 1045ESPN.com. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can always text the show in the 225. It's 396-4400, 396-4400. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, how the Saints might have dodged a bullet in free agency a year ago. I'll explain what I mean next on AFR.
AFR.
More than 30,000 Baton Rouge residents now have gotten the COVID-19 vaccine at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. And you could be next. As our world continues to come back online, a big part of that is people getting the COVID-19 vaccine. If you are interested in learning more about the vaccine or scheduling to get the vaccine, you can do that online at brgeneral.org. Right there on the homepage, you can learn more about the vaccine and about how 30,426 people have already gotten the vaccine at the Baton Rouge General Hospital right here in Baton Rouge. You can schedule your vaccine, all the FAQs you may have about the COVID-19 vaccine. It's right there. Let the website be a great resource for you, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Of course, caring for our community amid a global pandemic has been a massive part of what they do at the Baton Rouge General. But if it's elective procedures, emergency care, delivering babies, they do it all at the Baton Rouge General Hospital.
I'm feeling good. I just thought you should know.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
$12,500 off MSRP. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2020 Ford Expedition today with $12,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdecody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
You probably saw that Jadeveon Clowney landed with the Cleveland Browns. This really intrigues me a lot, and I'll tell you why. If you remember, the Saints were very interested in Jadeveon Clowney a year ago. Obviously, New Orleans had Cam Jordan, and the thought was, remember, a year ago, the Saints were all in. They very likely knew it was going to be Drew Brees' last year in New Orleans, and they were all in, man. They were trying to build up a roster in win-now mode and thought this could be the complement, as Marcus Davenport hadn't emerged the way that they had hoped, that Clowney could be that guy at an affordable price. Now, if you remember, he ended up signing a one-year deal with Tennessee, and it was like $14 million, something like that. And what's clear, and I'll tell you, I knew a lot about that situation, mainly because the Saints were interested. So I was very much following that and all the conversations with a lot of different parties involved, and because it was going to be really interesting if he ended up in New Orleans, which is something I think a lot of us wanted at the time, not knowing outside looking in all of the goings-on there. And then you look at this year, of course, Hendrickson has the blow-up year. He's gone in free agency. Saints need an edge rusher opposite Cam Jordan. If Clowney has a one-year deal with Tennessee where he played 8 games and did not have a sack, I mean, Mickey Loomis was offering less than that a year ago. Obviously, I mean, he took a better deal in Tennessee for more money. Why not go kick the tires on something that might be affordable? Well, we find out today that, or yesterday we found out that Clowney signed with the Cleveland Browns. What's so interesting about this, if you remember, we talked about this a year ago. Bus Cook, who is Clowney's now former agent, had Jadeveon Clowney a deal that was a 3-year contract for $57 million with $31 million guaranteed. Those are the terms. With the Cleveland Browns. So Clowney had on the table an offer from Cleveland. 3 years, $57 million, $31 million guaranteed. Obviously, that was way more than the Saints were going to be willing to spend, but he turned down the offer. Clowney thought he could get more. Well, he couldn't get more. It turns out his agent kind of knew what he was doing. And so Clowney ends up signing the 1-year deal with Tennessee, and Clowney fired Bus Cook. Now, I want to remind you, okay, Bus Cook is one of the quote-unquote super agents. Bus Cook is the guy that got Myles Garrett $125 million. Bus Cook is the guy that made Calvin Johnson a $100 million receiver. Bus Cook is the guy who maybe you most recognize his name because he was Brett Favre's agent forever. Bus Cook just got Cam Newton a $14 million contract in New England. Let me say that again. Cam Newton, who was just on a 1-year prove-it deal in New England, who didn't prove it, got more money to go back there on another one-year deal. Like, Clowney fired Bus Cook. Well, what was so interesting to me is Clowney has his introductory press conference in Cleveland yesterday, and some of the tweets from the Cleveland reporters were quotes of Clowney taking a shot at Cook again, which is, this dynamic is really weird to me. Keith Britton, who's a verified Twitter account from works up in Cleveland, tweeted, Clowney on coming to Cleveland after turning down the proposed deal a year ago. Again, the deal I just told you about. Quote, I got a new agent, and he was more open to coming here. Again, shot across the bow from Clowney at Bus Cook. Remember, Bus Cook got Jadeveon Clowney a 3-year, $57 million contract that he turned down and then fired him. Then there was this from Tom Withers of the Associated Press in that same press conference. Clowney said his former agent, Cook, didn't let him visit the Browns last year. Y'all, last year, during free agency, we were in the middle of the COVID shutdown. Nobody made visits anywhere. Clowney didn't visit the Saints, and they made an offer to him. Clowney didn't visit anywhere because nobody visited anywhere in free agency. It is so mind-boggling to me that this guy had a 3-year, $57 million contract on the table. He passed on it, fires the guy who got him that contract because he thought he could get more, doesn't get more, ends up having a crap season where he had played 8 games, had no sacks, ends up signing with the team who offered him the giant contract, and this deal is a 1-year deal worth $8 million in incentives that could get him to 10. Basically, Jadeveon Clowney, in passing on the deal that Bus Cook got him last year, cost himself $20 million in guaranteed money. Let me say that again. Clowney cost himself $20 million in guaranteed money. And now he's crapping on his former agent, who, by the way, is one of the best agents the sport has ever seen. Part of me looks at this and I say, from the Saints' perspective, yes, you obviously dodged a bullet. Clowney, just from a production standpoint, he's a guy that has never really lived up to the number 1 overall pick status, right? He only played 4 games as a rookie. He didn't play a full 16-game season until his 4th year in the NFL. He had back-to-back 9-sack seasons in Houston. Then he goes to Seattle, can't get along there, doesn't perform. The mess last year in Tennessee. He says he's healthy, and maybe he'll perform, and maybe he'll be good opposite Myles Garrett, who, by the way, whose agent is Bus Cook, who got him $125 million. Maybe Clowney will do fine opposite Myles Garrett, but really, from a Saints standpoint, had you signed Clowney last year, had he taken your deal, you never see Trey Hendrickson have 13.5 sacks. He never has that explosive year. So in some respects, that decision, Clowney's decision, really benefited Trey Hendrickson the most. And my sincere hope for New Orleans this year is in seeing Trey Hendrickson have the kind of complimentary season he did to Cam Jordan, or opposite Cam Jordan, maybe Marcus Davenport, or maybe it's Carl Granderson this year. Mike Dees talked a ton about Carl Granderson. Maybe that's the guy that can take the step up this year. And I'm not telling you they're going to have 13.5 sacks and be second in the league, but Could it be a guy that has 8-9 sacks, complementing Cam Jordan on the other side, that provides that formidable 1-2 punch for New Orleans on the edge? That's my hope. Man, if Mickey and the thing we know so much about Loomis and Peyton during their time in New Orleans is how much they value the culture they built. I think that's undeniable at this point. Sean just did a gut renovation of the culture when he first got here in 2006. Then he did it again after the back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons. And they've been very leery about bringing in guys that would be problem issues in the locker room. They want good locker room guys. I think both on a financial and a culture front, avoiding Jadeveon and Clowney last year might have been one of the best things that ever happened to the Saints. Let's hope one of these other guys can step up this year. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. NFL Draft 2 weeks from today. I'm fired up for it. Hopefully you are as well. Full hour of football talk with Mike D. coming straight at you.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Spring break just came and went. Memorial Day is right around the corner. You know, for Memorial Day weekend or that summer vacation, you're going to be getting on the road. Before you do, make sure you bring your vehicle to Shawbills. Look, if the check engine light's on, bring it to Shawbills. You need an oil change? Bring it to Shawbills. Even if you need something like windshield wipers, they got you. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Bottom line is, they're going to sell you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. Cheaper than the big box stores, the membership clubs, the other tire stores. And when you're there, they're going to treat you better than anybody. They're going to treat you like family because they've been family-owned and operated for 50 years, and they know when they treat you that good, that well, you're going to come back year after year after year. That's Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills!
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Callahan Injury Lawyer.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, Major League Baseball is celebrating Jackie Robinson Day today on this 74th anniversary of the Dodgers Hall of Famer's MLB debut and breaking of the sport's color barrier. Robinson's legacy not limited to baseball, explains ESPN's Doug Glanville.
The door he was opening was well beyond the sports realm, and that he was not going to stick to sports because he couldn't stick to sports. He was the voice and ultimately the empowerment for people to see equality in each other and to actually turn it into something that's not just a tenant, but actually a way of life.
Doug Glanville on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Twins got a walk-off single from Max Kepler, snapped the Red Sox 9-game winning streak 4-3. Nets forward LaMarcus Aldridge announced his retirement from the NBA, citing an irregular heartbeat. The 35-year-old, the second overall pick in the 2006 draft, was diagnosed with a heart condition his rookie year. NCAA placed the USC men's basketball program on 2 years probation for a former associate coach's role in the national bribery scandal. The Trojans avoided a postseason ban.
The next generation of paint protection is here. New 303 graphene nanospray coating will provide up to 12 months of professional level protection, insane water beating, and jaw-dropping shine with one simple application. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
After further review, our weekly talk with Mike Detillier is brought to you by the one and only New Orleans original, Cesarac Rye Whiskey.
I'm Mike D and I get respect.
Squat. Nothing.
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
The brain.
And the brain got a poop.
And the one and only, the incomparable, often imitated, never duplicated, Mike Detillier. SaintsReport.com, MikeDetillier.com, the M&D Draft Report with us every Thursday. He's with us right now. Mike D, how are you? Hey, Mike D, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Matt.
Mike, LSU, let's start here. LSU, a little breaking news here. LSU football got a commit from 4-star tight end Jake Johnson, younger brother of Max Johnson. Give us a thumbnail, Mike. What do we know about him?
Tall, lengthy, flex tight end. You know, I mean, they all sort of look the same today. Kind of part receiver, part tight end. What I like about him is, as a tight end, the ability to catch outside that body radius. A lot of guys can catch the football if it's right at them, okay? Jake's got that opportunity and that ability to make a play outside of that he can sort of reach out with his length and make a play and catch a ball, because not everything's going to be perfectly thrown to you. And so you got to make that tough catch, and he can do it. Okay, he's football skilled. He gets it. The genetics are there athletically. And he understands this game at a really high level. And so that's a big pickup for LSU at a need position for them. Huge need spot. Because in what they're running today, you need that guy that is going to take some of the heat over the middle. That ability to go over the middle. I thought, again, last year, one of the things they didn't have, wasn't Thaddeus Moss the year before a guy that in trouble. Joe Burrow sort of looked for him, down and distance situation. Joe looked for him, short yardage, mid-range areas of the field. And that's what a big, tall, lengthy guy like Jake brings to the table. He gives you that element over the middle, and it springs everything else open. So that's a big pickup for LSU. And it'll be interesting to see, him and Max together, in 2022, because he's not sitting and watching. Okay, he's playing as a freshman. There'll be no redshirt year for Jake. He's one of these guys that you're going to see. He's going to come in here and in what they want to run offensively. I think he's a really good fit. Again, as an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old young man, you have to physically fill out, and he'll need to get physically stronger, because there will be some sets where they're going to ask you to block, and that part of the game, and now Orgeron's teaching tight ends how to block, of all people. But again, he was the one who told us that a couple of months ago, that I'm working with the tight ends on bettering their blocking off a suggestion of John Robinson. That basically JR told him, hey, listen, I know the perfect guy to teach him how to block. And coach was, who was that? He said, you. So he got nominated by JR, man. You get in there. You got to teach those tight ends how to block. And so I do think that element, Matt, last year, the physicality up front for LSU was not there. And I do think you have to have that. The one thing about Moss, he was never a great blocker, but he was solid. He was a guy that stuck his nose in there when he needed to and had to. And I just think that's a big pickup to get Jake to come here, because he gives you a catch game element over the middle with size that's really good. He doesn't have the athletic ability of a Reed Gilbert, but, he's sort of a unicorn type of guy. Now, just to get him on the field now, Gilbert, for whoever he goes to. But Jake is a really good pickup for this football team, and goes to show the outreach of LSU. I mean, Jake could have went anywhere. I mean, and in this swirl of tornado of events happening at LSU, they're still in the middle of all this. It's, unbelievable how this has really not affected the recruiting part of football. And to be honest, really not much in basketball either, hasn't it?
That's incredible.
Isn't that almost as though you Teflon with it to a certain extent? And these are some serious offenses here, and yet you walking through the tornado, and you might get scuffed a little bit, but you continue to walk through it. It's an amazing story. And I do suspect that LSU's going to get a few more verbal commitments, and very soon, and some from in-state here in Louisiana, and maybe one out of state.
Okay.
It's just amazing to me. But it goes to show the time and the effort that goes through all this. And I always say this about out-of-state recruits that commit to you. It's not getting the commitment. That's great. It's keeping them. I think with Jake, you don't have to worry about it. I think, he's here to stay. That's the thing when you start talking about going outside your region. Can you keep them? Just like going to California, that's great, and to get those guys. But as it gets closer, just like a commitment, if a young man from Louisiana has choices, say, like LSU and USC comes a calling, okay, you might verbally commit, man, you like the trip, you got to see LA, and it's, the tradition, everything else. And as it gets closer, man, there's a lot of pull and tug for you to stay. Mom and dad want to watch you every game. They want to be fairly close to you, your family, your friends. There's a lot of things that pull and tug at you. And that's the thing about being a national recruit team. Not so much that I can get that verbal commitment from New York or Pennsylvania or wherever, but it's keeping them, because the pressure is to stay home.
Yeah. Mike, you did bring up Gilbert. We've got a couple minutes here. You got anything new there after Ed Orgeron announced that he did come back and met with him a couple weeks ago?
Nothing. And nothing that I would know anything inside on that particular deal. This is a strange story.
Yep.
Man, listen, I've covered a lot of strange things, and I've lived a strange life. and the people that I'm around. But this one is a real
I can
goodie.
vouch, having sat next to you and listened to you tell stories for hours, I can vouch.
Yeah, it's been quite an adventure. But, for a young man, and you can see where I think he's torn here on exactly what to do. But, okay, somewhere along the line you have to make that choice and say, okay, I've made that commitment, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it work. That comes that time, and I understand there are, other things being involved. But, you just got to say, hey, listen, I'm mature enough now as a young man to make that choice, and I'm going to live with it, but I'm going to give you everything I have. Because this could hurt him somewhere down the line as his situation grows. And even the way the NFL looks at people, you don't know what sort of nicks you somewhere with a particular team. And for you to verbally commit, and then non-commit, and commit to 3 teams and go to a 4th, I think for the NFL, their deal is that's nothing as a high school kid. That's a different story once you get to college. For you to transfer one time, I get it, and they understand that might not be the right fit. But this long drag out of a story, Matt, is peculiar. But by every stretch of the imagination, it is really peculiar to see this stretched out for this long a period of time. Now, in saying that, if he dialed my number and he said, hey, I want to come play, I'm like, come on over. No, I want you on my football team, and I'm give you this opportunity, but you can't quit on me again. Okay, you can't leave me again now. So it's a story that I think still has more pages to be written, to be honest. Just if you look back at the front part of the book, the back part would seemingly kind of mirror it, that you still have pages left here that remains unknown, and it's a really odd story. Even for recruiting standpoints, it's a real goodie.
What was the running back, Mike, who committed as a 5-star around 2008, committed to Tennessee and ended up at Kansas State? Bryce something or other. This is as weird a story as that one. Bryce,
I think Bryce committed to every school he visited. Every school he went to, he committed. I commit here, and you can understand that. My brother went to high school at Central Foods with a young man, and at that time it was sort of unlimited. The scholarships were open. This was in the 70s, and everywhere he went, he committed. So I think he visited every school in Louisiana, and he committed everywhere. And
we got Detillier, yeah.
And so my brother was like, we'd ask him, where he's gonna, where he's going. And he's like, I don't know. He's, everywhere he goes, he's committing. So yeah, so we under that particular deal here with the Rican and kind of where he ends up. But Bryce's story was strange, but this one is even an odder story than that, because we haven't heard from Arik.
Yeah.
Okay, because I would feel better if he had said, okay, listen, let me tell you my story and kind of where I'm at, that he hasn't even done that. And in today's world of social media and everybody knowing your business, or, you wanting them to know your business, that's another angle to it. That most of the time guys who will transfer, the first thing they'll do is, I want to leave. I'm gonna look around, and I'm interested here and there. We haven't heard anything from Gilbert. Nothing.
No. Mike, let me not got a quick break. We'll come back. We will circle back to LSU because I do want to get Mike's thoughts on what he's looking for in the spring game. When we come back, though, we'll talk some Saints. They've added a wide receiver in free agency today. We'll tell you who. It's AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Ichiban. If you need dinner plans tonight, the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225. Not me saying it, you saying it. The Best of 225 awards for like a decade straight. Remember, our friends at Ichiban, their newest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. Authentic Japanese ramen. Patrick Wong went to New York City and to Japan to train under the top ramen chefs in the world, literally, to bring this culinary experience to Baton Rouge. It is casual. It is affordable. It is delicious. It is Bayou Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. And this Saturday, we're going to have our Hudco hat party at Bayou. Come on by. I'll be there. See if I can get Terrio there as well. We'll give you a free Hudco hat, and you can enjoy live music, the best ramen you will eat in Baton Rouge, indoor-outdoor dining, great bar space as well. Come join us Saturday from 6 to 9 at Bayou Ramen.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Experience the Zurich Classic in a whole new way. This year, you can purchase a Best of the Zurich Classic Pass, which will get you into all the venues you know and love, where you'll feast on great food and drinks from some of your favorite local restaurants. Come enjoy the outdoors and see the best golfers in the world. But hurry, attendance is limited. This year, all safety protocols will be followed to ensure a safe tournament experience for everyone. The Zurich Classic. For more info and tickets, go to ZurichGolfClassic.com.
$12,500 off MSRP. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2020 Ford Expedition today with $12,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Our weekly talk with Mike Detillier is brought to you by the one and only New Orleans original, Cesarac Rye Whiskey.
All right, we continue with Mike Detillier, SaintSport.com, MikeDetillier.com. And as we are noticing, popping on the interwebs, the M&D Draft Report is arriving in mailboxes near you. Mike, you got any more draft books left?
Yeah, we have some left, so they can go on to MikeDetillier.com and order them, and we ship them out that day. We get the order in, and we ship them out either that day or the next day, so it'll get to you quickly. MikeDetillier.com, right there. If you're watching us, there's the website. If you go to the Buy Now tab right there, it'll bring you right to the page. Order, Mike said, it'll ship it that same day.
He will sell out. They always sell out. I'm telling you, for 10 years running now, I cannot imagine watching the draft without it. Make sure you get yours at MikeDetillier.com. Speaking of the draft, Mike, I wanted to pose this to you, all these conversations about the quarterbacks, because Justin Fields had another pro day, and it seems like it's a foregone conclusion now that it's going to go Trevor Lawrence 1 and Zach Wilson 2 and Mac Jones 3. Is there a chance, Mike, that we see Justin Fields end up going 3 to San Francisco and sort of upsets the order there in the top 5 of the draft?
Listen, I always felt this way. When the 49ers made that trade, they knew who they wanted. And I was going to print that day. And my intel told me that General Manager John Lynch wanted Trey Lance. Now, all this talk is Mac Jones. And Justin Fields somehow gets left out of the equation here. And every year I see it. He gets attacked. There is a player or two that gets attacked early from other agents who have quarterbacks or have the other running back, whatever position. Right. You get hit. And listen, I get it every day, either email or text from agents and telling you about their player and how great they are, and subtly and maybe not subtly tell you how bad and some of the negatives of the players around them. And some people nationally have run on this Justin Fields stuff unjustly. They didn't watch Justin Fields tape-wise and knocking him. Oh, the big knock was, he's got difficulty finding secondary receivers. Well, every quarterback that I know of that's come out of college, part of the NFL transition is you got to do a better job finding your secondary receivers. I thought he did a good job at Ohio State doing it. This stuff about, he's a runner. No, he's a better pocket quarterback than a runner. Not seen him play if you're saying that. Can he throw off the run? Yes, he can. Does he have running skills? Yes. But he is really accurate throwing the football from the pocket. And so all these false narratives and what happens, we live in a world today where somebody can put something online and people believe it's true. And no justification to it. But they put it out there and people grab it. And then somebody else grabs it, and somebody else grabs it, and then it becomes the truth. No fact-checking, nothing. So I think he's part of that. But listen, I remember this back when I first started, and that wasn't internet and all this social media stuff back then, and that was going on even then, back in the 80s. That sort of thing was it was done a different way, but you knew who to call, you knew who to spread bad information to, and it's like wildfire after that. Then how do you stop it? Can you come back and say, okay, let me explain to you how this got started? And there's no footprints in the sand, so to speak. They clean up real good afterwards, but they got people who buy it. And that occurs. That's the politics of the draft. There are people out there, agent-wise, who are connected to people nationally that want to sell you their product, which is their guy. After doing this for this long, some of that is correct, okay? But a lot of it is overblown and over-exaggerated. But we live in that world today that, somebody says something or they put it out on that Twitter machine and Facebook, Instagram, you name it, and all of a sudden it's gospel, that it's got to be true because I saw it. It's like Costanza on Seinfeld. We put it on TV. Well, not everything. Well, it's on TV, so you got to watch it.
It's not on TV yet.
Yeah, it's not on TV yet, though. But it is part of the world we live in, and Justin's been hit with it. And so where does he go to stop this? He can't play a game, okay, a workout. In today's world, a workout. And yet, on the flip side of that, I've seen people go gaga about Davis Mills, the quarterback from Stanford, because of a workout. Now, Matt, you watch a lot of college football. Tell me one game at Stanford Davis Mills really intrigued you and you say, man, that guy's a really good player? Zero.
I mean, that overtime game they played at the end of the regular season this year was kind of fun, but it wasn't because of Davis Mills.
No. The defenses were so freaking bad. It was pathetic. So my thing about it is, how did Davis Mills, and, he highly recruited football player coming out of Georgia, he goes to Stanford. He's had one injury after another. He hasn't pieced all this together. He's a bit of a streaky quarterback. Now, all of a sudden, people are talking about him at the end of round one. You got to be kidding me. I mean, where's the logic with all of this? Oh, he's got potential. My thing is potential. He had potential when he hit Stanford. Okay, wasn't he protected by 5 blocks of granite? Look those offensive linemen they got at Stanford. Look the receivers and tight ends they have at Stanford. And he didn't light it up. He was a good quarterback, but he wasn't an elite guy. So you talking more about Davis Mills than you are about Justin Fields? Man, we live in a strange world, in a real strange one to that particular point. But, Matt, it would not shock me that and why the 49ers would camouflage this is the strange part. Okay, you know who the first 2 picks are going to be. Unless the 49ers think they're going to try to con somebody and flip it one spot and pick the guy they really want, but has convinced you that they're going another spot, that's the only logic behind this. Because when you made that trade, I have a strong belief you knew exactly who you were trading for. So now what the 49ers will do, all of a sudden now the thing comes on Mac Jones. All of a sudden they go into Justin Fields' pro day, second pro day. And we'll find out with Trey Lance what happens with that. Almost as though that they are trying to play an ultimate game of making a move, giving up a lot, but then thinking about it and say, I'm going to tell somebody we interested in someone, and that's not who we interested in, and maybe we can swing down and get some of those picks back.
That is really, really interesting. Because it's basically been just accepted, Mike, that Mac Jones is going to go 3. So maybe
all I know
is want Lance. Okay.
Man, you do shows in San Francisco, they got people raise 3 kind of sand in there. They cannot believe that the 49ers would trade all that to trade for Mac Jones. The feeling, I think, always was it's either going to be Trey Lance or Justin Fields. But that the narrative always was that, man, John Lynch really liked Trey Lance, and he could be the bridge guy for them. And similar situation to what happened in Kansas City, where they had Alex Smith, and then they kind of passed the baton and gave it to Mahomes after a redshirt year. That the same thing would happen in San Francisco, that Jimmy G, if he could stay healthy, would be the guy and then pass it along to Trey. It made a lot of sense to that particular point. Because Trey's the guy that I think that for most people, he's interesting because of the unknown. Got 1 year with him. 1 year and 1 game. So it's, I think a little bit of, man, he was really good in 2019, and he really was. And then you watched him against Central Arkansas, and you saw a quarterback trying to press. He knew he only had 1 game. And you almost felt that, he wasn't comfortable. He wanted to make something happen, knowing that this was the only game he was going to play all year. And he didn't seem to be as comfortable as he was in 2019. And he played okay, but it wasn't eye-opening of what he had done with the year before. That, man, the unknown of a player and that word potential, is always there. And I think for most NFL people, they love that potential, that you haven't reached your full spot yet at the collegiate level, that there's still more there. And it's an interesting story of why San Francisco would do all this. Other than the fact, do they have a secondary plan to maybe have a team bite, and say, you know what, man, we want Lance or Justin Fields, willing to trade up to 3. This is what we would give up to get him, and you can get your guy a little bit later. So, man, listen, it wouldn't be the strangest draft day story that I've heard, but I think it's one of great interest that if you put down Mac Jones for San Francisco, I'd put him in pencil.
Okay.
It wouldn't be in ink. Because I think there's a little bit more to this. My thing is, if you were settled on Mac Jones, why the hell are you going to Justin Fields' pro day? What does Justin have to prove to you there? You've seen him. You saw the first pro day. You got the film on all of that. And you're not tricking anybody. You know who the first 2 picks are. You pick at 3. Nobody's picking ahead of you that is going to pick your guy. So why are you doing all this? Other than to muddy the waters, which does happen.
Man.
I'm just telling you, there's something there with all of this.
Okay.
There's something there with it.
Man, I love the draft. Mike D's with us. I love this time of year. All right, Mike, let me knock out a break. When we come back, get Mike D's thoughts on what he's watching for the spring game with LSU on Saturday. And your questions for Mike in about 15 minutes, you can start lining them up. Email me, tweet me, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or text me in the 225. It's 396-4400, 396-4400. We continue with Mike D next.
AFR.
Massive weekend, of course. Need a place to watch all your LSU action? Get by Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Look, tonight, we are 2 hours away from first pitch. Need a place to watch LSU, South Carolina? Pluckers. Tomorrow, Friday, knocking off work, want to go watch Pluckers, or you're getting to the box, need a bite to eat before or after the game? Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. That Nicholson location is right across the street from the box, right across Nicholson from the box. It's at Pluckers. Dine in or carry out. Remember, Saturday, awesome day. You got spring game at noon. You got LSU, South Carolina at 2. You need a place to grab a bite to eat, cold beer, great appetizers, whatever it may be. Pluckers is your spot before or after the game, or the best place to watch the game all season long is at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Ice cold draft beer, full service bar, sports on TV. Pluckers, you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new RAV4 for $329 per month. That's $329 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, always appreciate Sazerac Rye, the one and only New Orleans original rye whiskey. Pick it up wherever you find your spirits. They present our conversation with Mike Detillier every week. Mike D's with us. LSU's released a hype video for the spring game. It's up on their Twitter and their social media right now. It's a job pretty well done. Mike D, what are you looking forward to, if anything at all, on Saturday with the spring game?
Like I watch every spring game, I want to see how good the line is.
Okay.
On both sides of the football. That's where you win. You got to have a signature quarterback, okay? And I think you got two really good ones. And we've seen it, certainly. Certainly intrigue in Garrett because of what Coach O has hyped up about him. But, that'll play itself out with Max and with Miles. But, man, you got to win up front. For all this talk of receivers and cornerbacks and linebackers, yeah, and you want to see that too. But, man, you got to win up front. Last year, what was the biggest disappointment? LSU was soft as cotton up front along the offensive line. You couldn't get a running game started. You had trouble in pass protection. Defensive line now, there were moments where they looked pretty good, and in other moments not. So now, what's the one area Coach has praised from start to finish?
D-line.
It's been D-line, okay, and they got some talent and they got depth there. And so I want to see their offensive line play in particular. If that offensive line handles the defensive line, my question mark would be, man, is the defensive line as good as we thought? But that offensive line play is so critical to that offense. And I do think that that's the one area I want to watch. And also, two, knowing that all five are going to be gone at the end of this season, when they start playing others, how well they perform. Because this is a big game for them. It's an opportunity here to showcase at game time. And there are a few players in life that maybe aren't the greatest practice players, but come game time, they can play. And there are guys that are great in practices and can't play worth a lick come game time. So offensive, defensive line play for me is the biggest area that I want to watch because defensive line, to me, looks to be that's in spot where you got a lot of talent and a lot of depth, and you should sort of dominate against offensive line. If you got that type of talent, you should sort of take over. And how well the offensive line reacts to that. Even though you played them, you're up against them in practice and that sort of thing. This is the real McCoy, and it's the closest you'll get to a type of game. And so that's what I want to see. Because I do think, Matt, the connect the dots is when you watch the teams that have consistently been in the top four throughout the years. If it's Clemson, if it's Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, they all have a certain common denominator, and that they're really good up front, offensive, defensive line, and they have depth. And you hear it, during the broadcast of spring games, man, he's projected, he's a 19-year-old redshirt freshman, but they think, man, he's got a chance to see a significant playing time and be a starter the next year when the senior graduates or the junior graduates and comes out early. I think that's the key for LSU's program to sustain success is talent and depth along the offensive and defensive line. You did not have that last year. you saw a significant drop-off offensive line play-wise, and there was erratic play on defense. At times, Ali Gay, BJ, now Andre Anthony, I thought really played well down the stretch, and so did Shaquille and Roy. But you saw a lot of kind of hit and miss with all that too. So that to me is the biggest for anybody to watch, and that's not the area most people want to watch. They want to watch the quarterback throw it, the receiver catch it, the running back run it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up front, because I do think when you look at how teams have won and sustained that great success at college football, it's been up front, big men. Okay, it's not the sexiest position in the world. It's not the position everybody wants to write about, but it's how you win.
Okay, so now let me ask you about the guys that are going to throw it, Mike. We did start talking earlier about Max Johnson. Can he or Miles separate themselves at all on Saturday?
I don't think from a spring game. I doubt that. But I do think one thing can happen, that the guys sitting behind them, what happened with Joe Burrow when he played in the Ohio State spring game? He saw Dwayne Haskins was the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tag me out. I'm out of here.
Okay.
I know that's who they're going to go with. I'm going somewhere else. That's part of the transfer life we live in, and especially at that position where you see you're not going to get a chance, or you see that there's a certain cut of those two guys are going to play, and I'm not. And so I do think that's part of the reality of spring too. That, if you have a third-string quarterback and you got a young gun behind you and you got two guys ahead of you, you might say, you know what, man, it's maybe time for me to get out.
Okay.
And so that there is some reality to that, because we saw it with Joe. It happened with Burrow that he was out of there, understanding that Dwayne had the job and he wanted to be a starter. I want to start somewhere. You don't normally see platoon quarterback play anymore in college football. So that's the part of it. But, with Max and Miles sort of dueling it out, somebody gets left out here. And then it becomes TJ. Now, if TJ lights it up, then that's even more, kind of gravity to all of this. Mm-hmm. But again, we saw Burrow in the spring game really look good when he was at Ohio State. And I think he knew, hey, man, they got programs that would take me and I would start right away. And it was just finding the right spot for him. And, he changed the football world at LSU.
Yeah, he did.
Just changed it dramatically. And you never had quarterbacks before take almost a secondary look at LSU. LSU, what are they running? I'm not going there. They were going somewhere else. And now we're in the heyday of it. Back when I grew up and I saw and would read a lot of it, that, all these young guns coming out of the state of Louisiana. And it's sort of like with Bradshaw and Joe Ferguson and Bert Jones. And then later on, you had Norris Weiss and Bobby and John Fourcade and those guys, and Stan Humphries and Hodson. I mean, it was sort of lined up over a period of time. There was a lot of the guys coming out of Louisiana that went on to play in the National Football League. But then it dried up, other than the Mannings. It really dried up. You were like, okay, where's the next one going to come from? And then, we've seen it the last few years where, Dak sort of did his number, man, going to Mississippi State, and he changed the world there for them dramatically. God put him at Mississippi State because that's really where he should have been and what he did there for Mississippi State in that program. But look what's down the pike, and all these young quarterbacks that are either seniors this year or juniors. Well, Matt, you might have 10 players in a 2-year time frame that signed Division I scholarships at the quarterback position from Louisiana.
Wow.
Now, we always marvel over the receivers because I do think that is the one area we've gotten here in this state that's unbelievable. In a 6-year time frame, 76 Division I wideouts have been signed from the state of Louisiana in a 6-year time frame.
Oh.
Matt, that's staggering, the numbers for that, of how Louisiana has, but it's part of what we see all over the country now. Where, man, I want to play receiver. You know, man, I don't want to play quarterback no more or running back. I mean, it's a game. I want to play receiver. And that has become the target area. And look, the athletes and the players that have come from this state that have gotten that opportunity to not only play college football, but are in the National Football League. And look in this year's draft class, where you're going to have 2 players from the state of Louisiana go in basically the top 12 at receiver with Jamar Chase and Devontae. And Terrace Marshall, probably a late first-round pick.
Yep.
So 3 guys, and probably an additional, I'm doing the article now, 5 from the state of Louisiana that'll get picked somewhere else, where you could have 8 guys continue their career in the National Football League at wide receiver from the state of Louisiana. And look all the young guns receivers that they have today. We see Keyshawn Butte and Coy Moore a year ago come in as freshmen. The group of receivers coming in this year at LSU, the group that's coming in next year, Kyron Lacey, who I spoke about over a year ago. If that was one guy, I did what I could to try to preach to the choir, and what he did, started out at University of Louisiana, great player there, Thibodeau High School, and he made a huge impact for the Raging Cajuns. So it is a receiver state, but that quarterbacking now is quickly catching up to it. And, man, all I know is they got everybody and their brother coming over here trying to recruit 3 or 4 quarterbacks that are in this states that are juniors.
Mike, you and I got a break, but you sparked something in my mind when you rattled off that list of quarterbacks before the well dried up. And that whole list you rattled off, the only 2 that went to LSU were Burt Jones and Tommy Hodson. We're going to talk. We're going to talk one day about why that was.
No, I'll tell you why. Lousy recruiters.
Okay.
Come on, you didn't have a vision for those guys. Now, you can say, well, Terry, and Terry admits he had some great issues, but Terry said, I still think I could have got in some kind of way.
We will do, Mike, we'll do it.
That is accurate. What you say is accurate. That's bad recruiting in that particular part. Come on. Bobby J wins a state championship at South Lafourche High School, and there was 2, but he really got offered by one team, Northwestern State. They recruited him as a tight end. Not as a quarterback, as a tight end.
Oh man, Mike, we're gonna do a big deep dive into that. Let me knock out a break. Final segment. Your questions for Mike. Line them up. Email me, tweet me, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Text me your questions for Mike next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Hopefully, this rainy, awful weather is getting out of here. Finally, get outside and enjoy what will soon be May flowers after the April showers, and Clegg's Nursery can help you get there. I tell you every single day to buy local and to shop local, and that's what Clegg's has done for more than 60 years. Locally owned and operated, 4 Clegg's Nursery locations, Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City servicing you right there on Donmore, and then the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. 4 locations chock full of plants and flowers and trees and shrubs and seed. If you want Johnny Naylor seeds to plant that vegetable garden, they have garden decor as well with flags and statues and wind chimes. And they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So they're a one-stop shop. Checking out those honeydews, whatever you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll find at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
$12,500 off MSRP. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2020 Ford Expedition today with $12,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's time to get serious about your lawn. It's time to step up to the best mower brand money can buy. For nearly 4 decades, Skag has been the easy choice for lawn care professionals. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best when it comes to mowing your lawn. There's sure to be a Skag model that's perfect for your yard, big or small. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
Contact All Outdoor Power Equipment in Bruley.
Skag, simply the best.
Experience the Zurich Classic in a whole new way. This year, you can purchase a Best of the Zurich Classic Pass, which will get you into all the venues you know and love, where you'll feast on great food and drinks from some of your favorite local restaurants. Come enjoy the outdoors and see the best golfers in the world. But hurry, attendance is limited. This year, all safety protocols will be followed to ensure a safe tournament experience for everyone. The Zurich Classic. For more info and tickets, go to ZurichGolfClassic.com.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Our weekly talk with Mike Detillier is brought to you by the one and only New Orleans original, Cesarac Rye Whiskey.
All right, we got about 4 minutes. Let's blow and go. Your questions for Mike D. We'll delve right into it. Lenson Mobile says, hey, Mike, what's going to happen with the Saints at corner? Any Richard Sherman news?
I haven't heard any, but they have to get a veteran and then draft one early. It's got to be a double dip there.
I'm with you. Ask Mike, where does Jacoby Stevens get drafted? That's from Mitch Fontenot.
I think he's a middle-round pick, and I would play Jacoby Stevens as a hybrid outside linebacker. I think he's much better closer to the line of scrimmage than he is in the deep coverage part of the game. But with all this nickel and dime scheme, Jacoby's got a spot. But, man, I want him closer to the line of scrimmage. That's where I think he can make a bigger impact in this league, and I think it'd be at a weak side linebacker position.
Jared Vadrine asked Mike, could Caleb Farley fall to the Saints?
He could. The medicals with him, and there are two players in this draft class to watch for that to happen. One is Jalen Phillips, the defensive end from Miami of Florida, who started at UCLA. He was the most widely recruited defensive end in the country, had 3 concussions, actually gave up football, decided to come back and play, had a great season last year for the Hurricanes. But for some teams, man, 3 concussions in 1 year, he's got a little bit of a flag there. And now with Caleb, with the back injury, if Caleb falls to 28, and if my medical staff says he's fine, I'm picking him.
Ask Mike, Arden Key's a free agent. That news just dropped a bit ago. Any chance the Saints kick the tires there? That's from Mark Cumby.
I don't know about. I do know one thing. He visited the Saints because I was actually there filming something, and we had a long conversation, him and I. He had told me he had visited the Saints 3 times before draft day.
Huh.
So they had a lot of interest in him. And, he was in a little car. And I was like, man, I know it's difficult for you to get in, and I could get in it. The difficulty for me would have been to get out of it. and he laughed as hard as you did.
Oh, man. Mike, let's see. This is from Kevin S. Mike, why were the Saints interested in bringing back Mike Nolan?
Well, they already have a linebackers coach. Okay, and Mike made his choice, and I would have too. I would have taken that job as being a coordinator. And maybe one day that'll happen. Him and Sean really got along well, and Sean respected him because of his knowledge of the game and how well he could handle the linebackers. And he had been a former head coach. But, there's no room on the staff.
Yeah. Less than a minute. Ask Mike. This is for Mark. If you were the Bengals, who would you draft for Joe Burrow?
My thing would be, if I go true to my board, I got to go Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
I got to keep him healthy. I got to keep Joe healthy. But I think Joe's going to have a great say in that, and he may lobby really hard for Jamar. And I mean, and it'll be close between the two of them. But man, I got to protect him.
Yeah, you do.
I really do.
I'd protect his ACLs. Ain't a damn doubt in my mind. He's Mike Detillier. SaintsReport.com, MikeDetillier.com. Order your M&D draft report if you've not done so yet. Get to SaintsReport.com or MikeDetillier.com right now. Mike, do you the best. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Matthew.
We will do it again next week.
AFR.
Brought to you by Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. By now you know we had an awful weather event the past couple of days in Baton Rouge. Tons of hail everywhere. If you're on social media, you saw videos people were posting. Well, this is the time where you very likely need a roofer to come out and do an inspection. That's how the process works. We'd appreciate it if you gave us a chance at Hudco Roofing. You can schedule that inspection online at HudcoRoofing.com. Go to HudcoRoofing.com. There's a contact tab right there at the top right of the page. Boom, you fill out a little information. We'll be in touch very shortly to set up that very free inspection. You don't have to be at home either for that inspection. We'll send an inspector on the roof to see if there's damage. If there is, we will help you file a claim with your insurance company. If you already have contacted your insurance company and now you're looking for a roofer, we love the opportunity to earn your business. We say it all the time. Do business with someone you know. That's me. That's Ryan Terrio. That's us at Hudco Roofing. Check us out online, HudcoRoofing.com.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service. HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Callahan Injury Lawyer.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. All Major League players, coaches, and umpires today wearing number 42 to celebrate Jackie Robinson Day. On this anniversary of the date, the Brooklyn Dodgers Hall of Famer made his MLB debut and broke the sport's color barrier in 1947. Robinson's importance cannot be overstated, says Chuck D, a Public Enemy.
Most significant athlete in sports history, period, who basically baseball wasn't his number one sport. I mean, he was a tail kicker, man, in football at UCLA and also in basketball. You want to talk about GOAT? He chose to take on baseball.
Chuck D on Barton Hahn. The Twins ended the Red Sox 9-game winning streak 4-3. Padres are optimistic. Shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. will be available tomorrow against the Dodgers. He's been out with a partially dislocated left shoulder. NFL, Seahawks signed defensive end Aldon Smith to a one-year deal, latest addition to a deep collection of edge rushers in Seattle. NHL, Toronto center Austin Matthews will not play tonight versus Winnipeg.
We're back on Friday. Trevor Lawrence says he doesn't have any chips on his shoulder. We'll tell you if that has frightened the heck out of the Jaguars. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Friday morning on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tom Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home. What are you laughing at, Brain? Don't tell me you don't sing-song this all the time.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
A little.
You know you do.
A little.
My guy, Toby Tomplay, is the king, the master of the earworm. If only you knew how many jingles he has written and performed that you all cannot get out of your head, you would be like, hate that guy. But
probably best that I don't know that.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, a lot to get to. Alex Lange, former Tiger, current Tiger, Alex Lange, former LSU Tiger, current Detroit Tiger, Alex Lange, who made his big league debut on Saturday, pitched again last night against the Astros. We chatted with Alex. That's coming up in about 12 minutes from right now. Brain will have Tigers in the pros. We'll deep dive into LSU, South Carolina, Otterlocks later this hour as well. I don't know who had it first, so forgive me. I've seen multiple outlets report, however, that LSU women's basketball coach Nikki Fargus has resigned her position as the Lady Tiger basketball coach. 10 seasons. She missed the NCAA tournament 4 times during her 10 seasons. So they went to 6 tournaments, but only made it to the Sweet 16 twice. There's no way to put this any nicer. Nikki Fargus's time at LSU was a massive failure. She inherited a program that went to 5 consecutive women's Final Fours, a program that was among the top 3 or 4 in America at that time consistently every single year, and they have not recruited. They have not won at an elite level. She has had major player defections during her time. When she was hired by LSU, she had the pedigree of having played for Pat Summitt and won championships at Tennessee. She was a Power 5 head coach at UCLA, where she was a very bright, up-and-coming coach. It just never materialized here. And they were way more patient with her than they should have been. I'm reading this report from Wilson Alexander. Apparently, this is from WAFB. WAFB Television reporting that Nikki Fargus plans to pursue a career outside of coaching. This is somewhat telling. She had 1 year left on her deal that paid her $700,000 a year. Why in the world would you leave a position that's going to pay you $700,000 when you're not even doing well and you seemingly have job security? But this feels very much like a, hey, why don't we just find a way to and move on? Listen, I'm not going to sit here and break down women's college basketball for you. It's not my thing. It's never been my thing. I'm not going to pretend that I know a ton about it. What I will tell you is that when they went to 5 consecutive women's Final Fours, I was interested like everybody else was. There was a game one of those years where they played Tennessee at the Maravich Center, and I bought a ticket, went, and was one of 15,000, 16,000 people that went. It was fun to watch Simone and Sylvia and that whole era. Disappointed they never won a championship. But if you're going to invest the type of resources that LSU has to be relevant in every sport, there's no reason why you can't be among the elite in women's college basketball again, because you have been that before. So it's really just a question of, do you want to invest the resources to be great? And I don't know the answer to that question, y'all. I don't know the answer if they're willing to do that. In football, you have to. In men's basketball, they're kind of teetering, paying Will 2.5. In college baseball, LSU's also always going to be at the forefront of resources invested in the college baseball program to make sure LSU maintains that level, consistent level. But what are you willing to invest to make your women's college basketball program great? And there's one name where I would start, and it's Kim Mulkey. She's from Louisiana. We all know the story. I mean, at one point, I think someone told me her kid played baseball at LSU. Can you confirm that, Brain, maybe? I think, just do a Google search.
I'll Google it. I don't know if I'm going to find anything on that, though.
Okay, just let me know if Kim, I think Kim Mulkey's son played baseball at LSU. Let me know if that happened. But Kim Mulkey makes over $2.2 million a year at Baylor. We're paying your coach $700K. Are you willing to make that type of financial investment into a women's basketball coach to win championships and to be great in that again? If you are, then do it. Then call Kim Mulkey and don't let her tell you no. Do not let her tell you no. Time for a new challenge. Come win at a second program. You're never going to be Gino or Pat until you do it somewhere else. So come do it here in your home state. Come win the first one at LSU. But if you're LSU, do you want to pay $2.5 for your women's basketball coach? If not, go hope to find the next up-and-comer that you can pay $700K and get you to tournament, and maybe get you, maybe you strike, you catch lightning in a bottle again. And maybe you have another situation where you have the young assistant like Pokey Chapman, who's awesome. And I know Pokey was fired because of things that were unbecoming. It's interesting. Nobody gets fired from the football program when things are unbecoming. Huh. It's weird. Anyway, if you want to win at that level, go get Kim Mulkey. If you don't want to win at that level, go get whoever you want and keep playing in front of 500 people a night. Maybe you make a run here or there. Keep losing money. Yeah. Make up your mind. We'll know based on the direction they go with this hire. But today, Nikki Fargus steps down as LSU's head women's basketball coach. For the first time in 10 years, LSU's looking for a women's basketball coach. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here on the men's basketball side. Crazy busy day. Cameron Thomas did, in fact, declare for the draft. He's hired an agent. His LSU career is over. He's a one and done. We all knew that was coming. The less expected news is that both Andre Hyatt and Jalen Cook today also entered the transfer portal. So Will Wade, somebody replied to me on Twitter. Yes, her son played for LSU.
No. And his brother was a pole vaulter.
No way. How is it possible? Brain, I'm dead serious. How is it possible that there is a human being walking the face of planet Earth that didn't let me rephrase that. How is it possible that there's a human being listening to this show that did not understand that? How is it possible? I don't want to crush this guy.
No,
because he was listening and he was trying to help, and
I'm more than happy to ask Keith Hornsby or Mary Lou Retton on this one.
Karl Malone? Randy Moss?
You want me to call him on a flip phone?
Okay. To the person that tweeted me, thank you, but I was making a joke because for the 4 years that Kramer Robertson played at LSU, there was not a single broadcast that went by where an announcer failed to make mention that Kramer was Kim Mulkey's son. It was the most overplayed story ever, which is why I tongue-in-cheek was asking Brain if her son played at LSU. It's a total joke. But thank you for the help. And thank you for listening.
I think he was trolling you to draw you back out. I really do. I do.
Maybe so. Like, but he even screenshotted a picture of Kramer and Kim and
committed to the bit.
There's no way. No way. Did her son play with the two guys who may have been twins that played in the Little League World Series? No. But her son did play with Alex Lange, who made his major league debut on Saturday. I'm pumped for Alex. Got to pitch last night in Houston. We'll chat with him next on AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's what Insurance Network of Louisiana does. You got State Farm, you think you got great coverage, chances are you don't. You got Liberty Mutual, think you're paying a fair price, chances are you're not, unless you have called Insurance Network of Louisiana. Because what they do, I'll give you the sports agent analogy. Your local agent with Allstate, probably a great person. Jake from State Farm might be a really good dude. Here's the problem. He can only get rates from that company. That's it. When you call Insurance Network of Louisiana, they have relationships with dozens of the top-rated companies in the world, so they can basically compete to get you better coverage for less money. They go shop and get you the best deal. It's like a sports agent, instead of negotiating with just one team, can negotiate with every team to get you the best deal. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Le Posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Experience the Zurich Classic in a whole new way. This year, you can purchase a Best of the Zurich Classic Pass, which will get you into all the venues you know and love, where you'll feast on great food and drinks from some of your favorite local restaurants. Come enjoy the outdoors and see the best golfers in the world. But hurry, attendance is limited. This year, all safety protocols will be followed to ensure a safe tournament experience for everyone. The Zurich Classic. For more info and tickets, go to ZurichGolfClassic.com.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
$12,500 off MSRP. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2020 Ford Expedition today with $12,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and with
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Oh, it worked. Save that baseball. First strikeout of that young man's major league career.
What a moment that had to be for our next guest. Former Tiger great Alex Lange made his major league debut on Saturday. Got a strikeout against Reyes for Cleveland. First career strikeout of what we assume will be many. He's in the Bay Area right now, getting ready to go up against the A's, but Alex Lange, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us. How are you, dude?
Hey, man, great to hear from you. It's been a while. I'm excited to be back.
Well, it's great to have you back, and I would certainly imagine that things are going very well for you. So, first of all, congrats, man. I'm pumped for you. I know a lot of people here are as well. Let's go through the call-up. When you're going through spring training, did you think that it could come this quickly?
You know, I came into the spring training prepared, ready to go. I was competing for a job, I felt like, and, I just went in there and showcased what I had. And, obviously when they optioned me down about halfway through camp, I wasn't really discouraged. I was like, I felt like I showed well. I felt like I showed what I needed to, and I'm just going to kind of take this opportunity to stay ready and stay available if they need me. That's the fickle thing about this game is how quickly things change and how soon you could be in a totally different situation. So, that's kind of the way I looked into it, and I was just staying ready as long as I could and just hoping and waiting. And, it came a lot quicker than I anticipated, but obviously I'm super happy and super excited and super fortunate that it did. And, I'm just having a blast. So
all right, give me the call-up story. I mean, everybody's got it. Like, where are you? Who delivers the news? How does that go? Take me through the whole story.
So they added me to the taxi squad. So I traveled with the team Thursday to Cleveland from Detroit after the off day. So I was kind of coming in as backup, in case they needed to make a roster move or something. First game in Cleveland Friday night. I get a text. I'm in my hotel room. It's about 10:50, and I get a text from our pitching coach saying, "Hey, meet us in room whatever." I can't even remember the room number. And in 5 minutes. I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "If no one's in there, just hang on. We're coming." And I was like, "Okay, I'll be up there." And so I go up there about 11 o'clock. And I go down the hall, and I come out of the elevator. And I take the right, and I was supposed to go left. So I walk down the hall about 3 or 4 doors, and then Chris Fetter, our pitching coach, goes, "Lang, over here." And so I have to turn around and walk back. So it's kind of like a little walk of shame. But so I go back, and I go into the room, and AJ Hinch is standing in there, and Chris Fetter, our pitching coach, was standing in there. And AJ's kind of like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "I mean, you tell me how it's going." And he was like, "Do you know why you're up here?" I was like, "Honestly, no." And he's like, "Well, you're not in trouble. I just wanted to tell you in person that you're a big leaguer. Starting tomorrow, we're adding you to the active roster." So awesome. AJ's actually the one that told me, which is actually pretty cool because not many times does the manager tell a guy that he's going to the big league. So that was a pretty cool moment for me, obviously. I was kind of in shock and awe and just kind of like, wow, I can't wait.
So what's the first thing you do, man? I call your mom? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I walk downstairs, kind of take a couple deep breaths, kind of trying to process the information, call my mom and tell her the good news, and start looking at flights to get her out to come to Cleveland because she was in Kansas City. So we started that whole process, and a couple of my buddies and stuff like that, and tried to get some sleep. That was the number one thing because it was pretty late. It was pretty late when they told me. So I was just hoping that I could get enough sleep to feel good and be ready to go for the next day. And obviously, when you get to the park, the juices are flowing, and you're not tired. So
yeah, look, you've obviously been at a big league park before.
Yeah,
and you've thrown at a big league park before, but I would imagine it's obviously very different when you're going to the park, you're on the roster, and there's a chance you could pitch. Did you think that Saturday, or did they tell you that you were going to be used that day?
No, AJ said that there's a possibility I pitch tomorrow, the next day, or the next day. He's like, I don't really know. He goes, we'll just use you in the situation. So the life of a reliever, you just stay ready.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to be the first guy out of the pen on the day that I got called up, and I kind of got in there, got it out of the way. And so the emotions of having to deal with not pitching or having to wait to debut, wasn't really an issue with me. And I was very, very, very happy about that because there was a lot of emotion sitting out there in the bullpen for
so
sure.
You didn't just get it out of the way. You kind of shoved, man. I mean, 3 up, 3 down. You come up with a strikeout against Reyes, who has really been kind of a thorn in the Tigers' side, which, I mean, I don't know a ton about the Tigers with more read up on it, man. Like, he's been tough for you guys. So you're on the mat. Like, walk me through that whole moment of coming out of the bullpen and it's action.
Yeah, the door opens and it's go get them. I mean, there's no hiding it. It's just kind of walking the steps coming down from the bullpen at Progressive Field are probably about 25 of them. You're up there pretty high. So, you got a bunch of steps to go down. So, inning over, last warm-up pitch, start walking down the stairs, and, you got some time to get to the field.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I had a lot of time and just to kind of take a deep breath, take the moment in and be like, all right, let's go do it. It's time. Let's go take care of business. And, once those doors open, it's play ball. It's same thing as pitching at LSU, same type of emotion, same excitement, same all that stuff. And, I was just super, super pumped to get out there. Had the heart of the order up 3, 4, 5 with Ramirez leading off, Rosario and Reyes. So, I was like, I prepared for this. I've worked for this, and let's go see what we can do, and just go out there and have a lot of fun. That's what I told myself right before I walked through the gate, was just go have some fun. And I was just fortunate enough to get ahead of some guys and make some good pitches. Defense played great behind me. Miggy flipped me my first ball, my first out, a little 3-1. So that was a pretty cool moment for me as well. So
very cool.
It was a blast, man. It really was.
Alex Lange is our guest. Big leaguer Alex Lange is our guest. That has a pretty nice ring to it. I saw on Twitter the strikeout of Reyes, and I was like, I've seen that pitch about 400 or so times at LSU. So, I mean, like, come on. You had to know you had him and what you were setting him up for in that moment, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the guy hammers fastballs. I was talking to Michael Fulmer, that day, and he was kind of going through his outing and stuff, and he threw him a fastball, and he got a hold of it. And he was just like, after that, I was just going slider spin, slider sprint, and he was having a hard time picking up on it. So, I was learning from guys that had faced him, obviously, but learning from the veterans and learning from guys that, have great success in this game. And I was like, my best pitch is my breaking ball. I'm going to, attack him with that, and if he makes an adjustment, then we'll move from there. And we were fortunate enough to get to 3-2. I had the confidence to throw it, and I let it go, and we got a check swing strikeout. So, I mean, it was awesome, man. It really was. It was surreal. I was, I thought I was going to be way more nervous and amped up and everything, but once I towed the rubber, I was very calm and relaxed. I felt right at home. It was awesome.
Sorry, man. Did you keep the ball?
I don't have the ball yet. Apparently, the clubby in Cleveland said that the Tigers they hold on to him and they'll give him to me at some point. So I think they're holding them ransom. So we'll see. Hopefully I get that soon.
Hey man, a couple more minutes. I know it's
sure.
I know it's a game day for you guys, but so you go to Houston, and obviously Bregman's. I was pulling to hopefully see a Lang Bregman matchup, but I know that you all did talk before at least one of the games. What was it like hooking up with Bregman there in Houston?
It was awesome, man. That guy's obviously he's an LSU legend, all-timer there, and he's a Houston legend now too, and just a great guy for the sport. He gave me a hug and congratulated me and just said he was proud, and it's super cool to see former teammates in the big leagues and be a part of that group, because there's some pretty awesome guys that have come out of LSU that have gotten up to the big leagues that are still playing. So, just to be a part of that was really sick, and seeing a teammate that we played together in 2015 there at the Minute Maid Classic, and then just to be back there, 5-6 years later was pretty incredible. It was a pretty cool moment to see a college teammate up in the big leagues, and looking forward to many more of those with the guys coming up and the other guys that are already in the big leagues. So it was just an awesome moment all the way around.
Man, and then you pitched last night in the 7th. You did give up a single, but you got a couple of more strikeouts. Like, I'm just curious now what this process is like for you, having success, and really as a recent call-up, you don't know really what every day holds or what the next day holds. So, I mean, where are you now within the bullpen? Where are you mentally as far as what your role is? I mean, you're there, you're doing well. So what's next?
Just keep getting outs when they give me the ball. That's what's next. That's my mentality. That's what I told AJ in our pre-spring training meeting. I was like, man, I don't care if it's the 2nd inning, the 9th inning. I'll take the ball from you at any point. I'll go get outs. That's my mentality. Obviously, roles get defined as the season goes on. But being a young guy, I'm not expecting to hop into something right away. I'm just embracing the moment, and every time I get the ball, every opportunity I get, going out there and making the most of it and going to have fun. I'm not really trying to set certain expectations on myself or have expectations, whatever they may be as far as roles or whatever. I'm just focused on taking the ball and getting outs, man. I mean, that's what it comes down to, whether it's, like I said, in the 2nd inning or the 7th inning or the 9th. It doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm having an opportunity to play and going out there and compete, then I'm happy about it.
What has surprised you about being in the bigs?
Oh, man. How good the food is. It's unreal. And guys are saying it's not even that good. I'm like, man, this is great. Obviously, the travel's incredible with the private plane and just them packing your bags after the game. It's just crazy. It's just the little nuances of everything that you don't really understand until you're there and you can see it and witness it. I say that it's worth every single, pain and struggle and 6 a.m. workout and every practice, every tough loss that I've ever been through is all definitely worth it now, and that's to any young kid out there that's working hard and wants to get to the big leagues. It is worth it. So just that's my message. Continue to work and keep going because it is worth it.
Alex Lange, hey, man, as cool as it is for you, I hope you know as well. I mean, there's just so many LSU fans here who watched you pitch, who love watching you pitch, and are still pulling for your success and are smiling big to watch you have that success at the next level. So, I mean, I'll speak on behalf of everybody who ever watched you pitch at LSU because I know so many fans have reached out, man. Congrats. Everybody here is pumped for you and looking forward to what's next, man.
Well, I really appreciate it. Pitching at LSU is one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, and the fan base down there, I've got nothing but love for everybody in Louisiana, and it's unreal. I always enjoy all my time in Baton Rouge. So, I mean, it's incredible. I feel the love, and just thank you for the support, constant support over the years. It's been incredible.
You got it, man.
It's been incredible.
Keep rolling, and next time we talk, I'll bother you again at some point over the next few months or so, but we'll definitely have you back as a guest picker during the fall again if you're up for it.
Oh, I would love that. That would be awesome. I think I need to redeem myself. I don't think I did too hot last time. So.
I don't think anybody did too hot this past year. It was such a weird year, but we'll make it work. And
I'm going to relock it in. Don't worry.
All right,
I'll be back out there for the crown.
Lock it in. Terrio, he's not going to prep anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're going to beat him, unless if I can rig it to beat him some way, which I'll probably do. So if I rig it for me, I'll rig it for you too.
I appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Alex Lange, had a chance to visit with him earlier today. We appreciate a couple of minutes. It's game day for the Tigers. They're out in Oakland, so appreciate him making that work with us. The current Tigers play 1 hour from right now. We'll get to the starting lineup when we return. Got to remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Michelli.com. If you're wondering what Michelli does, this might be one of the best things I could tell you to do. Go to the website at Michelli.com. At the top of the homepage, there is a Services tab, and you'll see calibration on the drop-down. When you click that, you'll learn about all the different products that they service and all the different types of calibrations they do. If you need ISO 17025 accreditation, they do that. If it's mass or torque or scales, force, physical or dimensional, temperature, electronic, pressure, all of those things. For so many different industries, people sometimes go to the website and they're like, oh, you do that? I didn't know. That's very common there with Michelli. Calibration is so important because everything's got to be kept up to date. If you get audited, they have a track system so you can prove that the instruments that you used were properly calibrated, and they have the accreditation and calibration certificates available 24/7, 365, which makes you as a business more efficient. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. They even have a calibration lab up in Bossier City. Michelli.com. 29 offices in 11 different states. It's Michelli.com. For Michelli Weighing and Measurement, check them out, Michelli.com. It's after further review. We will knock out a quick break. Still got Otter Locks and what we learned in about 15 minutes from right now. When we return, Braden will have Tigers in the pros. We'll get you the starting lineup for LSU and South Carolina. Game 1 of that series, 58 minutes from right now. Stay here.
AFR.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At front to back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to front to back boat service.
I'm Jadeveon. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdecody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Otter Locks, a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Game one of the LSU South Carolina series. We are inside of an hour. Of course, you can hear every pitch of that series on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Worth noting, tonight's ball game is televised on ESPNU. So if you have cable, you can watch it on ESPNU. Of course, you can watch on the streaming apps as well. The next two games will both be on ESPN+. Landon Marceau gets the ball for the Tigers tonight. Needs to get LSU off to a really good start. We will give you another thumbnail on this series coming up momentarily. Right now, though, Brain has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
A couple of hours ago, the Las Vegas Raiders announced that they've released Arden Key. Kind of stinks.
Was he the biggest baby born in Louisiana?
Trying to remember who that was, because I know I heard the story maybe once, maybe twice.
Okay.
But Key was one of 3 Las Vegas Raiders released today. Over to the NBA, Naz Reid had 9
Was he the
points.
pole vaulter?
Naz Reid? No, his brother was a pole vaulter.
Got it.
9 points on the day yesterday. Also had 15 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Over to Mr. Ben Simmons.
Oh, I remember him. His dad is the one that sang Mandolin Rain?
No. Ben Simmons came from Australia where he was a punter.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
That's
That's right. I remember now.
Might have gotten unsportsmanlike conduct as well. 17 points on the night for Ben Simmons. 6 of 11 from the floor. 0 for 1 from behind the three-point line.
Oh!
Your boy tried.
My guy!
He gave it a go. 0 for 1.
It was probably like at the end of the half or
Could
something.
have been. Yeah. Also had 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Garrett Temple is back from injury.
Oh, boy.
Not a real impressive stat line last night.
I know him. His dad's the one that was on camera at the Syracuse game with the flip phone.
Yep. That would be him.
Remembered it.
Temple got in
Nailed
for 10 minutes.
Championship.
Didn't score, but did have an assist on the night. So, but the big news there is he's back from injury. So, one note from Major League Baseball. You just talked to this guy, Alex Lange. Got in an inning's worth of work yesterday. Did not get to square off against Bregman. Bregman didn't play yesterday. So, Alex Lange goes 1 inning pitch, gave up 1 hit, struck out 2, though.
His mom is the basketball coach at Baylor.
That's correct.
Yep.
Both Lange and Bregman. Yeah.
Same mom.
Same mom.
Not really.
2 more quick notes before we get out, or before I'm done with Tigers and the Pros. Happy birthday to Darrell Williams.
Oh, how about that? Darrell Williams, Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. And Chad Lavallee.
Lavallee. What a friggin' stud. Look at that picture. Look how small his helmet looks on his head. God, was he a stud. Lavallee and God, he should have been the National Defensive Player of the Year in 2003. How was he not? Unblockable. Who was the Defensive Player of the Year in 2003? Who won the Bednarik that year?
Kim Mulkey.
Who's she again?
She's the pole vaulter's brother.
Got it.
Who went to the Olympics in '84.
From Australia.
Yes.
Got it.
Have we successfully mashed up all of them now?
We forgot some of them somewhere along the way.
Probably. And that's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
Kentucky's Best Hemp. Chatted with old Lewis Coleman yesterday. Kentucky's Best Hemp, of course, is Lewis Coleman's company. Former Tiger pitcher Lewis Coleman, national champion Lewis Coleman. Chatted with him yesterday. They are super duper pumped at the response they keep getting from our audience. And I told him he had no idea we do the jingle, the little chant. He didn't know. He and his wife have an 8-week-old daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he has been like completely not engaged at all, which is but pumped for their family. So I explained it to him. He thought it was hilarious.
Good.
Yeah. So you know what to do. Go. Somebody told me yesterday, screenshotted me this. They went and got like the CBD dog treats there, bought them in bulk, and saved like $58. Yeah, it's like you buy it in bulk, you save even more. So just something to think of. Like if you're going to use it instead of placing multiple orders over time, like buy a big order, save even more. Works out better that way. It's math. So use the promo code AFR30 and save 30% off your order at
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
Go buy some CBD. Lewis Coleman's got to feed his 8-week-old. I mean, you don't be responsible for that. Starting lineup posted for the Tigers. Trey Morgan back in the leadoff spot, playing first base. Dylan Cruz in the 2-hole. Don't get that at all. Gavin Dugas batting third, playing left field. K. Doty will bat clean up and play third. Jordan Thompson batting fifth and holding down shortstop. Cade Beloso batting sixth. He will DH tonight. Giovanni DiGiacomo back in the starting lineup, batting seventh, playing center field. Hayden Travinski will catch and bat eighth. And then Zach Arnold. I love Zach Arnold in the 9-hole. Playing second base, batting ninth. Good to see him back out there. Did get some run last weekend. But remember, he was hit on the hand in the midweek last week, and pulmonary thought that might be broken. Wasn't. Did play last weekend on the road at Kentucky. He'll get the start tonight. So Morgan, Cruz, Dugas, Doty, Thompson, Beloso, DiGiacomo, Travinski, Arnold. That's how LSU will line it up tonight against South Carolina. Wave it like a helicopter. It's North Carolina, where Kramer Robertson's from. Otter Locks and what we learned next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pinnacle Exterior Construction. I tell you what, this is the perfect time to call Pinnacle. We are moving through spring. Pretty soon, it'll be summer, and every single day you're going to be wishing that you had that pool in your backyard. Every single day you're going to wish you had that show place where your kids wanted to be, your kids' friends wanted to be, or you don't even worry about the kids. It's your own personal oasis, your own personal paradise in your backyard. That's what Pinnacle Exterior Construction does every day. Shane Danton does beautiful work. Came out to my house with the landscape architect. They did a full design of some of the ideas that we had a completely computer-generated backyard so you can see what it looks like, bringing that vision to life. Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Have a great experience throughout this process. Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Look for that Pinnacle green. Check out pictures of their work at pecbuilt.com, pecbuilt.com.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
$12,500 off MSRP. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2020 Ford Expedition today with $12,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's time to get serious about your lawn. It's time to step up to the best mower brand money can buy. For nearly 4 decades, Skag has been the easy choice for lawn care professionals. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best when it comes to mowing your lawn. There's sure to be a Skag model that's perfect for your yard, big or small. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
Contact All Outdoor Power Equipment in Bruley.
Skag, simply the best.
I'm feeling good. So good. I just thought you should know.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
As always, appreciate our friends at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador, Caffrey, and Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com. We always wrap up by finding out what we're betting on tonight. We're joined by Jimmy Ott for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, we go out to the campus of LSU, or just off the campus, actually. City Slice Pints and Pizza. That's where we find our buddy Jimmy Ott. How are you, Ott Father?
Doing great, brother. How about you, Matthew?
Really good, man. Had a great day. Thankfully, the weather passed. We're going to get a little bit of the rain pass. We're going to get a little bit of baseball in tonight. I'm excited about it.
I hadn't heard thunder and seen lights like that. Some of the clubs in Vegas, man. Shoot.
Or Friday night. I mean, dude, it's been like that. I mean, this weather for these past few days has been just brutal.
Oh man, it was. I mean, it wouldn't stop. It was something out of a movie or something. But anyway, hey, speaking of thunder, it's Thursday night. Fire on ice. Clowney.
Clowney's back. All right, who's Clowney throwing out?
All right, guess what? He's on the same two teams that went 2-0 last week on Thursday night. The New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So looking up the odds right now as we speak. I sit next to Hanny. Hanny's knocking down a little single slice of pepperoni right now here at City Spice Pints and Pizza. The Penguins are hosting the Flyers tonight. Flyers pretty much out of the playoffs. I know that much. They're $1.75. So chalk on that one. And then the Islanders are coming back plus 10, maybe plus 105 against the Bruins. Okay. Islanders at the Bruins coming back a little bit of a price.
So these are money line plays, right?
Always, yeah, unless specified. Yeah, money line plays. So I got a money line parlay for you in baseball because they're both big favorites. I don't want to pay the price, so put two favorites together. It's kind of been a bounce back chalk day in the getaway day in some of the early games with the Padres and the Braves winning with 2 in the bottom of the ninth. The Twins, a lot of the teams came back because a $100 better last night profited over $1,300 if you bet all the dogs in Major League Baseball on the money line. I mean, some big dogs hit. I'm going with the Washington Nationals and Patrick Corbin, and then also going with the Tampa Bay Rays. So Rays, National, money line parlay comes back a little over $1.40.
Okay. Was the Clowney plays, is that, are we recommending parlaying those two?
I've always played them straight,
Okay.
So, I mean, hey, you did it last week. It helped. I mean, do it and maybe whatever you play it, maybe put 25% on a parlay too. And hook them up, something like that.
All right, Otter. So a little baseball parlay. We got Clowney's picks. What else is coming up tonight over there at City Slice?
Dwayne Clowney at New York Bookie. Dwayne, he'll be with us at the bottom of the hour at 6:30. Troy Macker is from Bet River, so we'll talk about that day yesterday and how everybody's combined. And me and Hanny over here, we just got the 6-screen video wall. We're going to be sweating the Rays. We're going to be sweating LSU baseball. We got NBA basketball. We got the Nationals on. So. And Charlie going to take a little trip down memory lane of some of our handicapping days in Omaha. Because when it's talk about Carlos Rodon, we got a good handicapping story. They do put odds when it gets to the regional in College World Series.
Hey man, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We won quite a few rounds for Barris Barleycorn on Carlos Rodon.
Hey man, do you think we're ever going to get to a point where there will be action on college baseball?
Not in the regular season.
Why?
I think we're a ways away. Because all of these, where's DraftKings located? Where's Bet Rivers located? They're up on the upper East Coast. It's just not a big deal.
Yeah.
And until you get a southern base, and it's just not. It just doesn't ring the register. They don't do college hockey because those are in the more populated areas where these books are located, and they wait till the tournament as well.
Okay.
So. They'll be doing it once the brackets are set up.
You know who was asking me that the other night, Jimmy?
What's that?
You know who was asking me that the other night? Why I couldn't bet on college baseball? It was E-Rock.
Who's that?
E-Rock, Erica, my wife. She was like, why can't you bet on college baseball? That's so stupid. I was like, I'll ask Jimmy. I don't know.
When she's going to jump on the bandwagon again. Come on, E-Rock. Come on, man. I miss her. Waking me up at, 6:30 in the morning. We got.
Jimmy, have anybody in the NBA tonight? I'm like, hey. That's my job. All right, man. Y'all have a great show.
That would be good, though. I would enjoy it. So, Annie's worth would go way up if they put some lines on these SEC baseball games.
All right, Otter. Y'all have a great show, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate
All righty,
it.
that is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us here in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, tell you every day you can listen online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. All right, so you got some stuff tonight again. Moneyline plays on the Islanders and the Penguins. Those are Colucci's picks. And then Jimmy Ott gave you a Moneyline parlay, and gosh dog it, I forgot. I didn't write down. I plugged it in, but I forgot who he gave us. Do you remember who he gave us on the? It was the Rays. Gosh dog it. Yeah, it was somebody else. I forgot. My bad, Otter. You gave it to me. I played it. I took your advice, but it was Diamondbacks, wasn't it? No, that Rays Diamondbacks, I think. Yeah. No? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
No clue.
Ask Kramer Robertson's mom. She was the biggest baby born in Louisiana.
With a flip phone.
And perfect vision because she went to the Williamson Eye Center. How about that?
Well played.
924-2020. 924-2020. Dr. Blake Williamson, the gang over at the Williamson Eye Center. Should have asked Otter to give his testimonial. He is a patient of Dr. Blake Williamson, as am I, as is former Tiger great Patrick Coogan and Warren Morris and Paul Maneri and Caleb Von Chasson and Devin White and so many others. It's incredible. Live your life without contacts or glasses. There is a way. Dr. Blake Williamson makes it happen every single day for people in our area. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEYE.com. Brain, what'd you learn today?
The bullpen at Progressive Field has 25 steps.
Right? Sounds like a hazard. Paulie.
Alex Lange still doesn't have his first K-ball.
Yeah, how about that? Cleveland's holding it hostage.
What'd you learn, Matt?
There are people who didn't get the joke about Kramer Robertson. How is that possible? I have no idea.
AFR.
All right, as we get on down the road, remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. And our friends at Relief Windows are hiring. Brandon Holly and the gang, one of the great benefits of seeing your business grow is you get to see your team grow as well. And they are adding to their team at Relief Windows. So if maybe at 6 o'clock you're driving home from a job you don't love, or maybe you're going to a job that you don't love, shift work or whatever it may be, how about a new challenge? You know, every single day at Relief Windows, you're not going to the same job site over and over and over again. Every single day, you're going somewhere new. Every single day brings a new challenge, a new task. And some people love that. The other thing a lot of people love about working at Relief Windows, you get a base salary, health insurance, 401k, and a bonus structure where if you want more, you can make more. Learn more. ReliefWindows.com. ReliefWindows.com.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton